back with another episode, the Nerd Network Podcast, episode 12. I'm your host, Marcy. I'm here with Julian.
Hey.
And with this very special guest today, new guest, first time on the show. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, everybody. My name's Devontae Jabari. I'm glad to be here for my first podcast with you guys.
Awesome.
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for being here, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So let people know a little bit about you and how are you a nerd?
I'm a nerd because I love everything, electronics, computers, video games. I've built several computers at this point. I used to repair cell phones. And video gaming is pretty much my main hobby. So if it's like an off day, I'm off work, I'm probably playing some kind of video game.
What's your favorite video game right now?
Like at this moment,
What are you playing nonstop? What's giving you no sleep right now?
no sleep. Not a lot. I started playing the mighty what was it called? It's the Platinum game. It's called The Wonderful 101. But it came out on the Wii U, and my friend had it on Steam. I was like, man, I always wanted to play this game. It's awesome. It's kind of like a top down. You collect all these citizens. It's a really hard game to explain just to a person.
Okay.
Because usually Platinum games do like kind of a hack and slash, which it is. But the gameplay mechanics are far deeper than just like a hack and slash.
That's cool. And it's on Nintendo Wii?
Well, it's on Steam. It used to be on Wii U originally, but they had a Kickstarter where they actually ended up getting it a remaster for Steam, which was fantastic.
Cool.
All right. So with some video game current news that you wanted to talk about today, sir.
We could just talk. I know Julian watched a little bit of Gamescom, so
Yeah.
I only had really two standouts for me.
Well, explain what that is.
So Gamescom is basically like this big kind of like celebration they have every year, and they just all these developers announce games. Typically, it wasn't done in this fashion just because of COVID-19, but I think it went pretty well. This year it was over a 4-day span. Usually it's actually like at a convention, kind of not as big as E3, but some of the other cons usually like Japanese game shows are as big as E3 for like Japan, anyways. But this one actually focused. Usually they have all kinds of release or like announcements, but on this Gamescom was mostly actually indie developers, which I actually liked a lot.
Yep.
So is it like Nintendo games?
Not
games?
Not really a lot of Nintendo games.
Is
It's
it-
mostly just like third-party indie developers that I saw like every day. I think they announced like some expansions, like Bethesda announced like a new Doom expansion for Doom Eternal, which I'm pretty hyped for. But not a lot from like big like
AAA studios.
Yeah,
and
AAA
stuff.
studios like Activision or like Bungie or anything like that.
So what was the most thing that you were interested about with GameCon?
So I just wanted to see the releases for indie games because I feel like we haven't got too many of them this year just because of everything going on. But, man, they announced so much. And I had really two standouts. One was called Proteus, if I pronounced it correctly. It was this really cool-looking Doom. It obviously got its inspiration from Doom if you like see it firsthand. But it has like all these features, like you can build maps. You can change the way the graphics behave. Like if you want it to be like kind of like a 2D like Doom, like original Doom, or you want it to be more like 3D with the sprites. It's pretty incredible looking, and the soundtrack's awesome. My favorite standout that I saw when I watched it was this game called Anno, which basically it's a side scroller, obviously, when you look at it, and it has a cyberpunk and Ghost of the Shell vibes, which I really dig. So I can't wait for that game just because I like that aesthetic.
No, it's a cool look. No, that's awesome. And what else did you want to talk about? This is a whole thing I don't know anything about.
Did you have any standouts for Gamescom, Julian?
I watched it, and I'm kind of like you. I was excited to see some more indie titles being announced and everything. The one thing... Okay, so Ratchet and Clank is looking pretty crisp.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. That is looking very clean.
Yeah, I never played like the other ones, really. I know.
We got to get you on one.
Man, I'm saying.
At least get the one for PS4 because that one's actually really good. It's basically a remake.
Okay. I'll have to check that one out. But yeah, the gameplay alone, and I know that was that a PS5 build that they were.
I would assume. Oh, I don't want to assume that it was a PS5 build, but it obviously was using like the RTX, the ray tracing on there.
It looked gorgeous.
I'm over here looking at Clank like, man, he's shiny. Like,
man,
the reflections on him, how they take advantage of the SSD, like when he's going through like the dimensions and stuff, was really cool. I'm like, man, this is gonna. I think the SSD might like change a lot of gaming forever. Not gonna lie.
Oh,
Like obviously we get these boosts in GPU power as awesome, better graphics, but if we can like load games like instantaneously, like levels, and make it seamless, that I think it'll change the experience a lot.
That's gonna be really cool. Yeah, there's speaking of which, we'll get to that a little bit later. Huge announcement from NVIDIA. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, well, it was yesterday.
Another game that I haven't really played this in years, but they're finally adding the Skywalker saga to Lego Star Wars.
I heard that about that like a while ago, and they just never said anything else about it.
And speaking of Star Wars, I guess The Sims 4, for all you Sims lovers out there, they're getting their own Star Wars expansion too.
I also saw that. I heard a lot of people are kind of upset about it right now.
Really?
Because they're adding, basically the whole gist of why people are mad is because they're adding Star Wars content instead of like fixing bugs for the game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
here's some new content. We're just gonna ignore all the other problems.
Yeah.
That's how they do it, man. That's how they get the fans in. That's how they get the fans.
And then a personal favorite that I'm looking forward to, Genshin Impact.
Oh yes.
So
I'm actually really excited for that game. Everything I've seen from it looks really cool. I don't know how they're gonna monetize it, how it's gonna work, but I'm definitely gonna play on the 28th on PS4.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's coming to PC anytime soon.
It is.
Is it coming like day one or is it afterwards?
Let me see.
No, but that game just looks crispy to me. I'm like, me.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at, it says it'll be released on PS4, PC, iOS, and Android on September 28th.
Oh.
So,
yeah, that's probably my most anticipated game of September. Actually, it was Avengers, which I pre-ordered, so that comes out tomorrow night. So I'll give that a play.
Now, is that on PC?
It is on PC. Ooh. I had pre-ordered on PS4 just because they had the whole Spider-Man's.
Is Spider-Man going to be on it? I heard some rumors that he can't.
He is going to be on it.
I saw a lot of memes about if you want to play a Spider-Man, you got to buy
Sony.
Yeah, got to be on PS4.
Man.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
Xbox is going to get a Master Chief DLC for Avengers.
I'd love to see that.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, Genshin, man, that I've played Honkai Impact, which was a mobile game, and it's the same company.
So what are like the differences between like Genshin and like Honkai? Really, is like Honkai like open world at all? Like Genshin is.
It is to a degree, but I will say Genshin Impact is definitely more open world. Honkai is open world, but it's not as wide as this one is. It's kind of like instant based almost.
Okay, so just kind of like big areas.
Yeah, big areas that you can run through, and they've made a number of improvements. I mean, I haven't played the game for a few months now, but I know that they're continually updating the game with new characters and everything. Since it is a mobile game, you know that they're going to have microtransactions all over the place. But the graphics and everything are pretty much the same. Obviously, Genshin Impact is way more pretty visually speaking.
So did they like announce how big this? It's obviously, I'm right to assume it's an open world game, right? Mm-hmm. So did they really show how big this world is?
From the trailer that I saw, yeah, it's pretty big.
Like when I say big, like I guess it reminds me so much of Breath of the Wild. So
and that's where they took inspiration from.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think it'll be on that kind of scale. I don't know if it'll be like Black Desert, big, but
because is it like an MMO? Is that what it's supposed to be?
That's kind of what they're saying. I mean, that's what it looked like. You could team up with other people, and I don't know if that's just to run instant dungeons or just specifically raids and stuff. I'll have to obviously look at more of that, but from what they showed, it looked like you could team up with other people.
Because I know it's co-op. I just didn't know if it was supposed to be like a more like singular player experience as opposed to like something like Final Fantasy 14 where
I got you
go to like a town and there's like 1,000 players running around.
Yeah, and then go to a dungeon with your main team or whatever.
Yeah,
and then I don't know. I'll have to look into that. From what I looked at and
but to be fair, Final Fantasy is pretty big, like on its own.
Yeah,
it's kind of like instance areas too. But I mean, they're giant.
Yeah, I didn't get that far in Final Fantasy, unfortunately.
When it comes to open world games, what's the best? What is number like? I've never played an open world game before. What would be the first one for me to start at?
Oh, first to
get me into
Grand Theft Auto.
That is a good one.
That's all you need right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I would recommend something like Skyrim.
I'm talking about something current,
Something current.
Within the last couple of years.
I'd recommend, like, my personal number one recommendation would be The Witcher 3.
Oh yes, Witcher 3, amazing.
Yeah. The only problem with that is that game's kind of like, if you haven't really played open world games, the combat systems and the mechanics can get far deeper if you don't really like numbers and stuff. But
That's fine. I'm jumping right in.
Okay, then it's fun.
Jumping right in. That's cool.
Be wary of the side quests, because I got trapped into doing side quests for forever and forgot where I was supposed to do the main missions at.
That's funny. It happens. Yeah. So I want to switch things over. Unless you guys want to talk about more video game stuff that
I think that covers it.
All right,
really.
Cool. All right, cool. So some current news stuff I want to quickly get into. There's 2 topics I really want to get into. The first big one is some current wrestling news. I guess you can call it current wrestling news. The Rock's catchphrase, jabroni, was added to the English dictionary. First reactions, both of you.
I mean, that's cool because, I mean, growing up, he was my favorite wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, to me, I heard jabroni growing up, but to me, his catchphrase was always like, "Do you smell?
Yeah, do you
The Rock?"
Now, if they added that,
Those are real words. I mean, you don't ever get like a real saying, like a long saying into a dictionary.
I definitely think it's interesting that's. How do you even go about that? Like, how do you go about like just making like some made up word like a real word in the dictionary?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's weird.
do they like?
I don't know if they vote on it.
Yeah, like a vote, or if they're just analyzing. Okay, how many times have people said this to Siri?
I think so, because the word swag is in the dictionary now too. And
Is it
swag
really?
was not really a yeah.
Well, so what is the dictionary's like legit? Like, what's the definition of this word?
Of gibral, a foolish or contemptible person. That's not the word definition that I saw earlier though.
What's the Urban Dictionary version of that?
The Urban Dictionary. Well, if you want to get to the Wiktionary, a performer whose primary role is to establish talent. It's basically a loser.
Huh? Dang. A lot of English professors are gonna see jabroni in some papers now. It's part of the English dictionary, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So
Can't tell me that's a made up word now.
Yeah, you jabroni. Gosh, that's so funny. That's just so funny how a word that came from wrestling transcended into the mainstream.
Watch Karen get into the dictionary at some point.
Oh, that's a name. But I hope not.
But it is a descriptor now, just
yeah,
like
but
jabroni.
I feel like that would be more like a slang, so
Yeah.
like more of an urban thing.
Urban Dictionary.
Oh gosh, that's just funny. But it's just so funny, like I said before, like a wrestling term. But it's so funny because that word was not popular until, I don't know, we were probably in middle school. I don't know. I'm a little bit older than you guys. So like I said, yeah, middle school, jabroni. But then again, people weren't walking around calling each other jabroni.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever used the word outside of watching a wrestling thing.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever saw anybody like reference wrestling other than when like John Cena started becoming big. I saw a lot of people like rocking John Cena stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just funny, jabroni. Fast forward all these years. That's in the actual English dictionary. Go check it out, people. It's legit. Google.
Well, there's another accolade for The Rock.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
real.
know, man. The Rock's just taking over things.
Every time he accomplishes something, he gets bigger.
No, for sure.
So soon enough, he'll be like Broly from Dragon Ball Z.
Damn.
He's such a
Hey,
good
if we
dude.
get a live action with, oh no, I want to see The Rock play Nappa.
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But The Rock recently made a tweet, and he actually credited the Iron Sheik, original wrestler before him. He was the actual original person that actually came up with that word. He was saying it around that time period, and The Rock just picked it up and just made it famous, which is just so incredible.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is really cool. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Cobra Kai finally on Netflix, season 1 and season 2. You haven't seen the show yet?
I haven't.
Julian has.
I don't know why, but I felt like I don't know, for some reason I thought it was like always on Netflix, and I was just not watching it. But when you said it was on YouTube Red, I was like, yeah, that's where I originally remember seeing that.
Yeah, so originally it was released on YouTube Red, May 2nd, 2018. So it's been out there in the world for 2 years now.
For a while, yeah.
For a while. And me and Julian seen season 1 and season 2 as soon as it came out. And now it's finally on Netflix. There was a bidding war between Hulu and Netflix for this series. And Netflix won.
I guess it paid off because it's high on the charts right now.
Yeah, it's number 1 on Netflix, the Netflix top rated stuff right now, which is crazy. What were you guys' first thoughts on Karate Kid?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
Definitely
Like watching it now, I'm like, man, This karate doesn't look that great.
No. But it's the storytelling and the coming of age of this kid.
Yeah.
That's what made it so good.
Yeah, I actually watched that movie again. I think last year. Like I used to work at a video store last year, a family video.
Oh, nice.
Before it closed.
R.I.P. Family Video.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we still have one in town, but
Yeah,
when I was just at work, it's dead. It's snowing. I actually just put that movie in. It's a great movie.
Oh no, I loved them. All four of them. Honestly, even the one with the girl at the end. I forgot what that one was called.
See, I've only seen the original and the one with Jaden Smith.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I know. Oh man, they made four of them.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they made four of them. The fourth one was with Hilary Swank.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's. I still liked all of them. I liked all of them. But yeah. So this takes place 34 years after the original movie. So the two kids are super old now.
Yeah, because I see it's following like the bully now that he's grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to give spoilers out there, but it's a different twist.
Yeah.
Julian, go ahead and talk about how it's different than the actual movie.
Well, just kind of like how you said, we're following the two. I can't remember his name, the main guy.
Oh my gosh, Daniel,
yeah.
Daniel, and then the other guy, which I can't even think of his name
I
right now.
can't think of his name either. Obviously the bully. But anyways, we follow their stories, how they're older now. They kind of still have like a quarrel, but not to the degree of where
Johnny Lawrence. Sorry, Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah. And I mean Johnny Lawrence is still, he opened up a school.
Yeah, he brought
dojo.
He brought Cobra Kai back.
Yeah.
After all these years.
So he's training a new age of Cobra Kai karate masters.
Yeah. What's cool about the twist is it seems like the Cobra Kai kids are
Like the nerdy kids?
They're the nerdy,
like the lame kids?
They're the lame kids. But they're also the good kids.
Yeah.
Good kids.
A few bad apples. But yeah.
yeah. And eventually, I guess Daniel, he really doesn't open his own dojo, but he's teaching some kids.
He's teaching, yeah.
We're not going to say what kids they are, but he's teaching some kids.
Couple.
Yeah. And then eventually they go at it, it's just cool seeing that rivalry get hatched all over again after all these years.
So if I'm not mistaken, from the trailer I saw, they bring his dad back, right? That's who I saw in the trailer, like Daniel's dad.
No, Daniel doesn't have a dad.
Like the main character.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they brought him back, or his sensei, I guess. I don't know.
Nope.
Okay.
No comment. I don't want to give him spoilers away.
Okay.
I don't want to give him spoilers away. But no, it's a good show.
Someone does return, but
yeah, that's a couple returns actually, and they do a really good job mixing the original footage from the original movies with the show, and it's not overdone. I feel like the balance of it is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoy the show. Season 1 and Season 2. Season 3 will be released sometime, hopefully spring 2021.
Was it confirmed for a third season?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. The third season would have came out already, but
because of COVID and stuff.
Because of COVID, and because another reason why, because of the bidding war, Hulu or Netflix wanted the third season, so now Netflix won, so they're getting the third season.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So no, it's cool. I'm excited for Season 3. They're already going to be doing Season 4 too, so that's going to be out there eventually. No, I'm excited for it. Which is crazy is Ralph Macchio is the actual executive producer, which is Daniel. Kid Danielson, all grown up, but executive producer. So it's cool that it's in good hands with the original actor.
Nice.
Which is good. Which is always cool. Yeah, go check that out on Netflix. Everybody, keep it at number 1. Keep them going forever.
So NVIDIA, yesterday.
What is that? I don't know anything about that. Go ahead, talk. Give me a.
They manufacture. Now we're getting into PC gaming and everything. Which I'm a novice. I have a PC. I'm not too knowledgeable on the internal workings, but the big news that's going around lately is that NVIDIA, who is a company that manufactures graphics cards, has released a new series of graphics cards, called the RTX. Is it just a 3000 series?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can call it. You can call it the 30 or
the 30.
3000.
Okay. Yep. And so I know that you know a lot about PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell us why this is big news.
This is insane news. So for a lot of people that don't know like computer parts or just kind of know like the baseline computer parts, the best graphics card on the market right now, besides like a Titan X, which isn't even used for gaming, is called the 2080 Ti. So in like PC world, if you're trying to get like 4K gaming natively at ultra settings, 60 frames per second, that's what you'd pick card wise. That card on the market, like brand new, you're gonna be paying like $1,200, $1,400 out of pocket for that bad boy. But NVIDIA announced not only are there new GPUs, they announced 3 of them: a 3090, which is gonna go for $1,500. They announced a 3080, which is gonna be $700 out the gate, and it's supposed to be 2 times faster than the 2080, just a normal 2080. And they announced the 3070, which I think is the biggest explosion for the GPU market, which is going to be $500, and it's going to be faster than the 2080 Ti. So that's insane. So basically, NVIDIA not only finally lowered their prices to performance, because a lot of people in the last generations want to upgrade from the 10 series because the 20 series jump wasn't worth it from price to performance wise, because like the 1080 Ti was doing really good 4K wise, and it's like, why would I upgrade to 20 like this 2080 Ti even though it does have RTX, even though on the RTX on the 20 series is pretty like prototype compared to what we saw NVIDIA announce all the new cores and all the new ways they're processing their RTX in their cards, and it's just insane. So not only is the 3070, that's why the 3070, they haven't announced the 3060 yet, but it was part of leaks, and they're probably going to come out with it'll probably be like a 1080 Ti, which would be insane.
With that being said, you're saying this piece of hardware will make gaming quicker. So as someone who's just used to always having console game, a game console, you said this piece will cost how much?
Like which piece in general?
Like
There's 3 of them.
Yes. So do you have to buy all 3 pieces to make the game faster, or do you just need?
Oh no! So a graphics card is basically what processes like visuals in the game. So it's like a card. So
yeah. So how much is that card?
So
the cheapest one.
The cheapest one's going to be $500, but they said the 3060 is probably going to be around. I think they said either 400 or 300. If it was 300, that would be wild, and it would sell like crazy.
Oh wow.
But
what makes this 3070 so big right now is because it's only $500, and is it double the power of the highest?
I think they said I think it's probably like 50% stronger or faster, but it is crazy. So it's a big deal mainly because the used market for graphics cards almost have never gone down on NVIDIA's side, because they would just keep raising prices every year, but this is the first year where the performance to price is like absolutely insane.
Like it makes sense finally.
Yeah. So a lot of people right now are like panic, like selling
trying to sell them on eBay.
Yeah, they're like panic selling their cards on like marketplaces and eBay so they can just upgrade, and they actually kind of look foolish, because if you buy like a 2080 Ti and they just announced this and you're trying to sell like for like $900, it's not gonna be worth that. Once the 3080 drops on September 17th, the price of the older cards, like a 2080 Ti, should only be worth like maybe $400 at that point.
So if anybody who is wanting to start to get into gaming with a PC,
before we get to that point, because I'm solely a person who would only get a gaming console. Let's just say that the average price of that card is $500. Me as a consumer, why would I not just use that $500 to buy a console? So let's just get it.
Trying to pitch the PC is usually a bit harder than a console, because obviously a console you can just plug it in and just play. You don't really have to troubleshoot, but the PC has so many like better benefits to it. One, PC games actually run a higher they run higher textures, they run higher FPS, but with the new consoles claiming they're going to be 120. So usually games on PS4 and Xbox One were kind of locked at 30 frames.
Yeah.
So once a gamer plays a game like at 60 frames, it changes everything.
No, for sure.
And not only that, you can change the resolution, you can change like graphic quality.
Yeah.
So on PlayStation, on consoles, they're usually just kind of locked. On PS4, it's they're usually like on a medium setting, quality wise. So they got like anti-aliasing. I don't know if you know what that is or not, but it's just it makes things look smoother around the edges of like character models and stuff.
Yeah.
But basically, you have more options to make games look like, I guess, 10 times more like fantastic than on a console. No,
Besides looking, outside of that, it'll also make their game run quicker too, or no, or just look better.
Oh, it'll definitely make it run
Oh, yeah.
like quicker, especially if like you have an SSD in your computer. It'll load super fast. The new cards have like built-in SSD, so they're gonna load your games faster now. Anyways, it's insane that the cards have that. But there's also just more customization outside that, so you can mod games. You can't do that on console.
Yeah, I can see how that's a big deal, and that's a big reason why people want to go to PC to modify things.
Another thing with outside of modification with a PC, you have longevity.
Pretty
you don't
much.
have to buy the next console, the PS5 Pro, when it comes out to achieve those same graphical settings and everything. With the PC, you don't have to upgrade for like 5-10 years, if that.
And another thing about that is like you don't have to worry about like, oh, are my game's going to be backwards compatible?
Right.
Because usually most people go through Steam anyways, so you'll always have that library there.
Yep.
So it's like, oh.
But with that being said, so are you telling me it takes forever for like a new processor, chip, card to come out?
Not necessarily. Usually new processors and chips come out every year, but for gaming, I mean,
it doesn't really matter.
Right.
You typically don't need to upgrade that often. So maybe since we were kind of stuck in this generation, because usually the PC games have to like follow the console stuff, because usually the like developers want to develop it for console first, because most people play on them. Then they have the PC as well. But usually they have to keep like pace with the console. So whatever, like I guess the new generations developers are going to be developing for the higher end consoles, obviously the PC is going to be able to run it now as well.
So currently, right now, what is the biggest PC game out right now?
I think probably Valorant.
I would say so.
Like Valorant or Fortnite, if we're just basing it off like concurrent players.
Yeah.
But those games aren't like graphic intensive.
Yeah.
So you could play. The awesome thing, like if you've ever heard of, like Counter-Strike, like Valorant's kind of in the same vein of that, where you can basically run it on like a toaster. And when I say toaster, like like a low grade computer.
Which is funny because some people do play it that way to get the fastest frames per second possible.
That's
right?
true. Because another thing about PC, like if you're playing like really high frame rates, like for shooters, and you have a really good refresh rate on your monitor, it gives you an advantage over like a console. Because like if you play on a PC Call of Duty, you can get as many frames as your graphics card can push out power wise. But on like PS4, I'm pretty sure it's locked to 60.
Yeah. So is that when I'm playing on my console? Is it possible to play someone on a PC still?
Yeah,
depends.
It depends on the game.
Is that when I get really pissed off and they're going really fast? I'm like, why am I missing them? Like, why am I shooting? I'm shooting them, but I swear I'm shooting them.
Well,
and I'm
let's
not
say
them.
Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty is one of the many games that are cross-compatible. So you can play with Xbox people, you can play with PS4 people, and PC people, right?
Yeah.
So because PC players technically do have an advantage, because a mouse and keyboard is going to be more accurate than a controller, there are built-in mechanics for the console players to kind of
keep up.
Like
you get aim assist.
You get aim assist, so you can. So I've been killed by plenty of Xbox and PC people or PS4 people on Call of Duty, for example.
I gotcha.
So here's the thing: like I have on PS4 and PC, but I play a controller on both. So, and usually I can just like dust people on controller if they're playing on mouse and keyboard. Because I mean, aim assist really does help for controller players. And I think it's only fair to have that if you're gonna get like just 360 no scope by a sniper like across the map. Because some of the PC players are like really crazy, which is another advantage. I think consoles should take advantage. They should add mouse and keyboard support like natively for every game. I don't know if a lot of people will. I mean, those new consoles look like towers for like PC towers, anyways. Right. So they should just do it.
Do you think a console or PC will ever just take over one another, or no? We'll always have one or the other?
I think there should always be both, because if there's no competition, then developers will get lazy, like Sony. Like say like if Sony like just put all their exclusives on PC, that would give really almost no like initiative for other developers to kind of like step up their game. Kind of like Microsoft. Microsoft has had like a really hard generation this gen, so Sony has basically like crushed it this gen, which in turn should make, say, like Xbox like step up their game in development
Yeah.
for their players.
No, that
Same
makes a lot of
with same with
sense.
PC developers, but
Yeah.
typically there's there's some definitely PC developers, but usually people aren't worried about money if they're going to put their game on the PC anyways.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I just remember back in the day in high school, for me, probably not even high school, probably middle school, Diablo was like the big PC game
Oh yeah,
everyone had. Is Diablo still a thing in 2020?
yeah. They announced Diablo 4 not too long
Diablo
ago.
4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, but
But 3, how long ago was 3? Like
a while
what was
ago.
the gap?
Oh,
Years probably?
I
3
feel
or
like-
4?
I think it's more like 5.
Oh my
5
gosh.
years.
I
yeah.
feel like it was maybe 6 because I know it came out on 360.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
ported over to the next gen.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
exciting. Huh, I'm gonna check it out. I'm about to play some of Julian's PC.
Hey man, yeah, it's there. But yeah, I think the big thing out of all of this is just the barrier to entry for people who are interested in trying to look at PC gaming has been lowered and open. And I think now is the time, once these cards drop, to really hop on that. I know that I'm gonna upgrade mine for sure.
Oh,
I'm still
yeah.
running the 1070, so
I mean, 1070 is like that was the card you
Yeah.
would get
Yeah.
when the 10 series dropped because the price of performance was like
Mhm.
insane.
Yep.
I think that like the feature, not only like the performance of these cards, but some of the new features they like announced was like
Yeah.
insanely crazy. Like stuff for streaming that's really awesome. You can now like stream like yourself
Mhm.
at like 4K,
Mhm.
60 hertz, just with their like in card built-in streaming
yeah.
software. So there's a lot of stuff NVIDIA, like AMD needs to announce something like crazy good
Oh yeah. Or
in
else,
October. Or they're just gonna like, because right now I'm rocking like an AMD card just because it's cheap,
Mhm.
but I might actually just pick up the 3080 on the 17th
38.
and like call it a day. I'm
Yeah.
like, because the thing about like the PC advantage is like I feel like if somebody buys like a 3080, it's gonna be like infinitely stronger than like whatever the PS5 or Xbox One Series X is gonna
Yeah.
have in it. Just because like my card and my computer is considered like lower tier, but it is stronger than like a PS4 infinitely, and I can like max out my settings.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
only
cool.
and I only pay like maybe like 300 for it.
I gotcha.
Mhm.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why like if you ever see like reading comments and people like just like crap on like console players, like PC master races, it's just because they have more options.
Why do you think consoles won't do the same thing with those type of equipment, hardware? Is it just because it's
I think it's because I think like Microsoft and Sony would have to like develop their own equipment
Mhm.
because to make, I guess that technically they could make it modular where they could just put like a graphics card in based on like the size of the consoles now. I just think because let's look at this. PlayStation actually uses AMD like architecture.
okay?
At least PlayStation 4 does. I can't remember if the PS5 is going to use it, but say like if you could put like a new graphics card in your PlayStation 4 or whatever, you'd have to worry about like all kinds of stuff like bottlenecking your computer, like the PlayStation, if the CPU can like keep up with the graphics card,
Okay.
or like is the PlayStation 5 have enough like the power supply strong enough
Mhm.
to run it, stuff like that. And
It would just make it more complicated over time of having to have the actual consumer mess with it.
Right.
pretty much.
Okay.
And
That
I
makes sense.
think it would be like hard for, I think Sony would lose money
Mm-hmm.
because unless they're developing like their own graphics card you can upgrade to,
Okay.
they're just going to lose money to AMD. So
No, that's cool. No, that's very informative. I have never even thought about getting a PC because I just thought that's too much money I don't care about. But it makes sense.
that would be like my dream come true if they made like consoles like modular and I could just take out
Dang.
parts and put new parts. Because usually the only part in consoles from the last 2 generations we could really change are like disk drives and like hard drives.
Yeah.
Hard drives mean like the main one. You can put SSDs in your PlayStation 4s and stuff.
Yeah. Microsoft, Sony, pay attention and listen to us. Yeah, right. They ain't listening to us.
I am really excited to get the PlayStation 5 though. I'm hyped.
Oh, man,
I'm
so
really
am I.
excited to see how that new DualSense controller works.
Yeah.
their Nerd Network podcast might give away a PS5. Who knows? Stay tuned. Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that.
I'm like, really? No.
Pay attention to the following episodes.
Yep.
We might find out.
Details coming soon.
Details coming soon.
No, but I could talk about like PC parts all day. They're just so fun to talk about.
That's cool.
Just
I'm gonna hit
because,
you up because I definitely want to get upgraded for sure.
oh yeah, like man, like if you ever want to like build a PC, man, tell me.
I gotta see if I have time. I don't just have time. I don't have time. I just don't. I haven't had a game console in like 4 years probably.
4 years.
Yeah.
So you usually play any games, really?
No, I don't have time, honestly.
That's fair.
I mean, I wish I did. I want to get back into it so much. I'm just playing Call of Duty so much.
Honestly,
That
like
was like my shit.
like people who like work a lot, like if you don't have time, consoles are usually the better option.
Yep.
Instead of like investing into like a PC.
Oh, I definitely want a PS5. Like when it comes out, I'm getting it.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why we won't see consoles fade away anytime soon.
I don't
They're
think
just
so either.
consumer friendly.
Makes
So-
sense.
Especially oh no.
Oh
go
no,
on.
go ahead. No,
No, especially at the rate like Sony has just absolutely like brought their own exclusives out.
Mhm.
That's like the defining factor of like those systems. Like what can like PlayStation 5 bring to the table or
Yep.
PlayStation 4 that like PC can't.
No, that's cool. Good for Sony. They're killing it in the movies and they're killing it in game consoles. Sorry, I had to say that. It makes some people mad. All right, cool. We're going to switch over to our next segment here called Recommended, where we go around the table and give our recommendations on some TV shows and some movies.
So my recommendation for what to watch is actually on Netflix. It's an anime called The Great Pretender. It was just added recently with like the new update. It is fantastic. So basically this anime, not only is it stylish and the art is like amazing to me, it's just really colorful and I always love that. It's a show about basically these thieves essentially and like scam artists, and like this one scam artist in Japan, he thinks he's like the top dog and he meets a French dude who basically he met his match and he kind of wants to learn from him, and they go through like America, which is cool because a lot of animes never go to like America
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's really fun, and the dub is really good, so I appreciate that. But I don't want to spoil anything. But it's not only the artwork's great, the voice acting is pretty darn good because usually I'm a stickler for that, especially if it's English. And yeah, so far I'm only 3 episodes in,
That's cool.
so
Yeah, I was reading that it's season 2 was actually renewed, so
nice.
we're going to keep going. That's cool. No, I want to check that out. That sounds pretty cool. So recently I saw You Cannot Kill David Arquette, which is a wrestling documentary. I don't know if you're familiar with WCW back in the day.
Oh yeah,
David Arquette, a lot of people know him as the actor who played in Scream. He dated and was married to Courtney Cox from Friends. He actually became the WCW heavyweight champion of the world back forever ago. Fast forward 20 years later, over the time, people just hated this guy because he came in an actor. They gave him the championship belt, and people were like, this is fake wrestling. He won it because he was an actor. People hated him. He didn't make it in Hollywood. He only did a couple movies, and people were just like, this is this fake wrestler, actor guy, and they just hated him. Fast forward 20 years later, he's like, I don't want to be that guy anymore. I want people to respect me. And he decides to go on a whole year or so and wrestle in the independent circuit.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good story of like a redemption story of him not have any training, getting trained, going to wrestle at a backyard wrestling ring to wrestling in actually a big sold out show. No, it was really cool documentary seeing him go from being out of fat and out of shape to being in shape and being respectable in the ring and earning the respect of fellow wrestlers throughout the country in the United States, which is really cool. Definitely, if you're a wrestling fan, go check it out. If you're a fan of documentaries, go check it out. You have to go watch that on Amazon Prime. Yes, I paid money to watch it, rent it. It was definitely worth every penny. It was only like $6.99, $5.99. But no, it was really good. So definitely go check that out. And Julian,
I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch something new, aside from what's already been mentioned. But I did happen to see this show come out called Hoops. It's a cartoon more along the lines of like Big Mouth. It might even be the same creator. I don't know.
oh wow,
But it's kind of one of those crude humor type of shows. I didn't particularly.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix. It basically the story is it follows a coach of a basketball team at a high school.
I think I saw that one on Netflix.
Yeah, he I think he recently got divorced. His dad is a big time basketball player, really famous, who opened up his own restaurant, but they don't have like a really good relationship. He's just kind of like a loser. And it just kind of follows the story about him and his team, and they get all into all types of shenanigans and stuff, but it's all right.
Is there just one season right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that has Jake Johnson, the guy from Friends, not Friends, New Girl.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's the coach.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
if you're fans of New Girl and
You like Jake Johnson?
you
Check it
like
out.
Jake Johnson, check it out.
I do have some, I guess, upcoming recommendations. So, on the 4th, I guess the new Mulan movie comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that recently. $30 though.
Yeah, I'm not paying that.
No.
Yeah.
That's like if you have to pay for Disney Plus on top of like another 30, that's
Right.
let's just put it in the theaters. Like, I mean,
So I'm saying they're open now. So
Yeah, I know. That's so silly.
yeah.
So silly. Like Disney, I feel like it's gonna lose money. Like I would go pay.
I might cancel my Disney Plus subscription because of that.
he's like, you better watch out, Disney.
Yeah.
No, but also we have a show coming for season 2 on Friday called The Boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's this Friday?
Oh
Yep.
wow.
Oh man, so this will come out. Oh my. I'm not gonna release this episode till Friday. So when you are watching this, it'll be Friday, and go watch The Boys 2. I definitely gonna binge watch the shit out of it,
Yeah,
and probably give a review next episode. Next episode.
yeah, because
Yeah.
if I'll watch it. Have you watched the first season?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we gotta watch and talk about it. 'Cause
Yes.
Oh man.
season 1 was so good.
Oh, so good. So good, man. Oh man. Thanks for giving me that update because I totally forgot it was coming out this weekend, this Friday. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I know what I'm doing all weekend.
Oh, for sure.
That's great. Amazon Prime. Go
Cool.
get Amazon Prime if you don't have it. Boys 2. Check it out. Awesome. We're going to wrap today's episode up now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You taught me a lot. You taught me a lot. Let people know where they can find you
So
on social media.
So usually I have a YouTube channel. I don't use it very much, but they can find me on Twitter. It's just Devontae Jabari. I have a YouTube, Crunchy Toes Gamer. Usually I do playthroughs. I haven't done it in forever. So I might start back here soon once I get all my new computer parts, actually, new streaming setup. But or you can just usually I don't want people to find me on Facebook unless I know them personally. So if
That's
you know
fine.
if you know me on Facebook, you can message me.
If you don't know him, don't add him. Stay away from him. That's great. Awesome. Well, it's your host, Marcy. We're going to dip out of here. Julian, as always, thank you for being here too, my co-host.
Absolutely.
Everybody stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. We're out of here. Peace out.